Hello and good evening, guys. Leon Street here, and I hope you're ready. We have a topic that I guess most people they're aware of. It lingers in the back of their minds, and I guess for a lot of coaches, experts, and consultants, it's a topic that can piss people off. But it's a topic that I think we need to look at and explore. And if you're live with me, or even if you're on a replay, I'd love for you to comment below this video, even if it's the first time you've come across me or my content, because I think it's important that you interact on this one. And today we're looking at marketing lies that are killing your coaching business. And so I guess there's different aspects to the lies, and I'm going to explore some today. We're going to go into it. We're going to look at what are these marketing lies, and we're going to look at, I guess, what the answer is as well, because that's probably part of the problem, not knowing what the answer is to the lies either that we see or we're telling ourselves or we're believing in. And that's what I want to jump into today. So as always, guys, remember, if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so right now. Just click on the subscribe button on the channel. And if you are not already a subscriber or watching this on YouTube, just simply visit leonstreet.com/YouTube and you'll be redirected to the YouTube channel where you can subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified of all my upcoming live streams and video uploads. So let's get into this. Let's move forward. Are you really being lied to? I guess that's the question. And I guess from an industry point of view, let's be honest. Yeah, you're being lied to. I'm not saying that everybody's lying out there with their message, with their marketing message, but I guess the reality is that there are a lot of lies, and there are different aspects to the lies. Some lies are known lies. Some lies, people have no conscious awareness that they're even lying. And it's because they're caught up in their own distortion reality field. And if you don't know what that is, it's kind of where you make the lie become your truth, and it's no longer a lie because it's something that you believe in and you've told it to yourself enough for you to not even become aware that it's a lie, or you have not questioned what you have stated to be the truth, and therefore you've made it a reality and therefore you believe it now. So there are different aspects of, how we're being lied to about promises in services, coaches, mentors, and products and different things that you can buy. And I guess somewhat there's also lies around ourselves as coaches and consultants. And I just want to explore it. Now, I guess I've got a question for you, for those of you watching. Have you come across, or no, let me ask you a better one. What's the number one lie you've seen out there in the industry? So what's one lie or something you've seen and you think that's just not believable, that's not possible, and it's total bullshit or it's a lie? I'd love for you to share that in a comment right now. And when you do share it, I will check it out and I'll come back to your comment and maybe mention as we are live if you're interacting live with me. And I've got some examples, or rather, the startings of how people lie and different things. And I want to get into it because I think it's an important thing for us to really dig into. And so I guess here's the obvious question. Are you being lied to? Well, yes and no, because there are different aspects, as I said, to how people lie and the lies we tell ourselves as well. And so for me, it's quite an interesting topic because it's almost like catch-22 or chicken and egg and different aspects. But let's focus on some of the lies that probably exist. And I guess that have you questioning, what's going on, to the point where you say, WTF, like, what the fuck, what's going on? Like, really? And I guess, especially in the coaching industry, and I'll point out the coaching industry as, as a key one. There's a lot of coaches out there who are coaches, and it's an industry where it's not really vetted. It's not really, a place where you are legally, or I guess there is a real professional body for you to be a coach, right? And I'm in that industry. I'm a marketing coach, but I don't have any coaching certificate or coaching accreditation. And even that in itself, you can start to question, well, what makes a person really, coach, a consultant, an expert? And this is why, for me, marketing lies, they come in the form of what we buy as services, but they also come in the form of what we tell ourselves to be the truth. And I'm curious as to what you guys have come across, because perhaps what your input will add or shine a light on is some of the things that are going on in the industry, right? So let's have a look at this. Great results. So I guess this is one of the most common ones that I see quite often, and it's the big claims or the great results without proof, and achieving great results without any real substance to what a person's saying. And the lies that I'm going to share with you now, some of them, they're a bit comical in many respects, but they're not funny if obviously you have fallen foul of these lies, or somebody who has. And I'm not making light of that. I'm laughing at the fact that some of these things are just ludicrous, but people get away with it as well. So great results, and I guess this is the common one. But remember, guys, if you've got a lie that you've seen either in your industry, in the marketing industry, coaching, consulting, whatever it is, share it in a comment, because I'd love to check out what you see either as a lie, or perhaps there's a lie that you believe that business owners, coaches, consultants are telling themselves and believing. That's equally important. So great results. I think for me, this is probably one of the biggest ones, and usually it's great results without proof. And it's a big claim. It's a claim that's not backed up with a preponderance of proof. And usually that's the first signs of seeing that, that's bullshit. So you'll be able to get your bullshit monitor out and pick up on that one pretty quickly. Here's another one. So influential psychology. And this one's an interesting one, and I'll tell you why this one's interesting. Influential psychology. I'll tell you why this is important. If you understand how to manipulate a human being psychologically, then it can work for you in a good way, and it can also work for you where people use it to manipulate. And the common term of what marketing is the ability to persuade people. And I remember this before, I was having a discussion point around this, because in marketing itself, the fact that you're persuading a person ultimately to get them to the point of making a buying decision, are you not, psychologically getting them to, I guess, make the decision of ultimately what you want, which is to get them to make a buying decision, to buy a product or service. And that in itself, if you understand the way to manipulate people, it can be a good thing, because for instance, let's say somebody's in a burning building and you have to manipulate them to actually jump out of the second floor onto, like a trampoline that the fire service has to get people out of a building. Well, you're doing it for a good reason, right? But then you've got the other way where people persuade people to do things when they know that the outcome is not what they're going to get. And that's where it can end up being, a place where you got on a rabbit hole of ethics and, values. And for me, this is where the influential psychology of what you can put into a message is really powerful. And I guess with a great message and running a business comes great responsibility, in the kind of rehashed words of Spider-Man, his uncle rather. And I think this is one of the things that a lot of people, included me and many, I guess, thousands and millions of other business owners out there, there's a lot of times where we make things okay because that's our reality and that's our filter, and therefore it becomes okay to manipulate. But I guess the moral of this one is simply, when you're doing things from a place of ethics and morals and values, then you're usually at least, on the right path. And this one can really go south in the opposite direction. And you've seen it before, mis-selling of things and just, persuading people to make decisions that, the person knows that the outcome that the buyer is promised is just not going to happen. And so this is another lie. The only way, or the number one way, I see this quite a lot, especially in marketing, in my field. And I love this one, because usually when a person says, this is the only way to create a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 figure business, they're full of shit. Because if that's the only way that they believe that a business can be run, or created to some level of success, is because they've never really been in business. They don't understand the fact that with business there is more than one way, and it's down to you as the business owner to figure out what is that way for you. As I say, each person has their own journey, and so therefore you can follow different structures, different methods, different formulas and different things, but at the end of the day you've still got your filter on how it's implemented, how it's used, how it's taken in that information. And I guess for a lot of people, that in itself is the thing that they don't understand, especially with the claim of the only way, the number one way. So let's have a look at, well, what is another lie. Just general promises. For me, this just comes in the shape of promises that are promised, but the person knows that there's no real way for the buyer of their products or services to actually achieve the end result, the promise in effect. And some people genuinely, they don't realize the impact of false promises. And I'll give you a quick example. Let's say you're a business owner who is putting together a new marketing campaign, and let's say you can probably just see behind me I've got like a bookcase. There's different, actually it's my marketing book, but there's other marketing books, and I've got another bookcase here. So we've got tons of books on the bookshelf. And the point that I want to get to is, let's say I follow the method of one of these authors, or even you follow the method of what I've shared. But then what can happen is you copy, because you think, what, I really want to copy either that funnel, that marketing message, the USP, or whatever it is that you find really cool. So you copy it. But you copy it without the awareness or the consciousness to know that actually you've copied something that you don't quite fully understand the context of a promise, a guarantee, terms, the intention of whatever was put into that funnel, and you've copied it. You've copied a piece of text, you've copied a script, you've copied something, and you've copied it into your marketing message without fully grasping the understanding of what that person could offer, can promise, can guarantee, and can back up. And for me, this is where people who, let's say they're a bit naive in their approach as a coach, consultant, business owner, this is where you can fall foul of not being consciously aware that you've made a promise you can't keep, because what you've done is copied somebody else. And these are for the people who, like I say, it's just naivety. But then you've got the flip side of that, where people make promises and they can't keep them, and they never actually intended to keep them. So there's another lie. So where are we at? We're at lie number 5. Come across marketing message where there's tricky terms and conditions. And again, this is important, because this requires you to be, I guess, aware. It requires you to be pretty vigilant. And I'd say the only time that you need to really look at this is where something is it's almost like padlocked down like Fort Knox, right? Tricky terms and conditions. And I think one of the things here with the lie of, or this particular type of lie in the industry is, if you've come across it where you have either acted on a guarantee or you've tried to get out of a contract, that's usually where you find out about it. But what I'd say to you is that whenever you're sold something, or you come across a product where you are looking to purchase, or a service, coaching program, something like that, just look at what the terms are, and just make sure that you are clear on what you're getting into. Broken promises. So we had promises earlier, and well, the flip side of that is broken promises. That's one of the big lies. And the broken promises, this one can really hurt your brand if ever you fall foul of it, or you make broken promises. But usually you find a lot of people who have been down this route. And the one thing I will add to this, and we're about halfway through the different lies that I wanted to touch on, and this is around evolution of the person who has, let's say, made the mistake, and they've put together a broken promise, or they've become known for it. Their brand is now affected because they messed up. They put something out into the marketplace, they got found out, and it could have been intentional, or it could have been unintentional. They're just consciously they weren't aware, and therefore they messed up. But the point I want to get to is that there is an ability that when you come across lies, or let's say you've been the person who lied without really knowing that you were lying, but you have anyway, a person still can change. But what I would say to you is that it can really affect your brand, and it can affect the perception people have around you. So if you fall foul of breaking promises, just be mindful of how it can come back and bite you. They say it takes a lifetime to create a reputation, and a second for it to be ruined. And I think this is, with broken promises, this is one that you see quite a lot. And I've seen in my industry over the years, people who, duped people and, broken promises and different things, and they get found out quickly. But I'm just saying to you, if you're on the opposite side of this, where you've made broken promises unknowingly, and it's kind of been something that you weren't conscious to aware of, then it just simply means you've got some work to do to kind of build your reputation back again. So step 7, your brand needs to be everywhere. This is another common one, especially in marketing. I see this quite a lot. And this one's annoying. Do SEO because it's the only way, and do this, and your brand needs to be everywhere. So do this, do paid advertising, blah 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 blah. And before you know it, a person is telling you to do all different types of marketing activity because they read somewhere your brand needs to be omnipresent. But the reality of a small business owner doing 6 or even 7 figures is that you don't have the budget to be everywhere. And reality is you don't need to be everywhere to create those types of results and even grow from 7 to 8. So what's line number 8? We know what will work. I see this a lot as well from experts. And especially when they say we know what will work without any real context to your business, to the business, let's say, environment. And all they have is this filter, this lens of one particular route that worked either for them or for a client. And so if it worked for a client, again, it's kind of checking how deep were they entrenched in, the work, the campaign, the project, and so on and so forth, to truly understand that they do know what will work. So what's another lie that we come across? An X is all you need. Very similar to, some of the points of what I just shared in line number 8, which is we know what will work. Well, you also get the marketers, you get the people out there in the business world who say, all you need is to do paid advertising, Facebook advertising, Google advertising. All you need is to increase your prices. All you need is to create an online course. All you need is to create social media posts every day. Yeah, when you come across people like that, again, you should be able to sniff out the BS, and that should be your signs to kind of think, actually, I need to leave this alone. What's line number 10? Get a huge following, and that will get you the business that you're looking for. And I see this quite often: people buying followers, people buying likes, people buying engagement. And again, you can't bank likes, you can't bank engagement unless it's from your niche, unless it's from people who truly want to listen to you and find out more about what it is you do, because they know that you can help them with the problem that they have. And so don't get duped into that. And I see it quite often, get into Forbes, get into Yahoo Finance, or get onto this article, get onto this. And, some people will cleverly call it PR and say, oh, you need exposure. But the reality is, for most business owners, you don't need that kind of exposure. What you need is simply to get in front of your niche, your audience, in the right way, so that they can see your message and hopefully take up whatever it is that you have as an offer. And most of these publications don't tend to be niche specific. They're very generic. And I see this quite a lot, especially with the huge following, huge exposure, that kind of stuff. Lie. Here's another lie. Change your message for different platforms. And this usually comes in the form of, trying to create huge engagement or get great results from different, social media platforms. And again, I've done it myself. I put the same message out on different platforms, and sometimes that message has worked really well on Facebook. It's worked really well on Instagram. It's worked really well on LinkedIn or YouTube or whatever. And you know what? I just put the same message out. And the reality is that if you keep changing your message, you'll be working very hard to try and produce results. And, as a small business coach or consultant, you don't necessarily have the time. You just simply need to figure out where you get best engagement, the best leads from, and show up there with your message. That's what I'd advise you to do. So lie number 12, don't sell on social. And again, look, I'm going to answer this one very quickly. If you see this or you hear this, if you're in business, you need to sell. Yeah. The trick is not to be somebody who's always pitching and pushing, but somebody who provides value. But make no mistake, you do need to sell. Otherwise, you're not in business. You're in a charity or a hobby at the very least. So don't fall for that one either. It's okay to sell, guys. You're in business. And I guess line number 13, which is get rich quick with no hard work. If you ever come across that, get rich quick or get this quick, and there isn't much work involved, you need to be mindful. Yeah, because usually it's bullshit. And I guess, if you're an experienced business owner, if you've been in business for any time, you'll smell that one out as well. You'll know that actually, well, it probably doesn't sound right, doesn't smell right, and therefore it's probably not right. Yeah. So there you go. So what's the answer to all of these lies? And and like I said, the reality is that some of these lies are, let me just go back. Some of these lies might be genuine, not aware. Yeah, the person might not be aware. But at the same time, to protect yourself, it's good to be aware of them. So what's the answer? Well, here it is. There's a few steps you can take, guys. Just look for social proof. So look for testimonials, look for reviews, look at, you've got things like Trustpilot and different places have reviews. Look for real print screens, look for video testimonials, all these things. These are ways that people can show you evidence of really what's going on and the promises of their products and services. Here's a good one. And usually this starts off, once you've started to see a bit more about that person, do you get the right vibe from them? Because usually, your intuition, so to speak, will guide you. And 9 times out of 10, if you listen to it, you will get the right answer, and therefore you'll be able to detect and know whether or not you think this is something you should pursue or not. And even sometimes something can look too good to be true, and actually is good, but maybe your risk, I guess, aversion detector has just said, you know what, I'll leave this alone for now. Maybe you need to come back to it later on, but at least you'll just go off, is the vibe right? And here's another thing: if you come across products or services or suppliers or people who are offering you coaching, mentoring, consulting, and they put others down personally, that's another sign, like, to stay clear of them. Because usually, people who are doing well and people who are running successful businesses, they don't have any need to put somebody down personally. There should never be that factor. And as human beings, it's unnecessary, really. It's okay if it's been raised potentially by, let's say, a prospect, but if the supplier or the person you're buying from, or even you're putting somebody down, it never goes well for you. People don't appreciate that kind of energy. What to look for: do your research, look into the person you're buying from, look into the supplier, the coach, the mentor, and that way you'll at least have given yourself the chance to prevent any type of service or product where you're missold. And are you ready to do what's necessary? For all the lies, for all the promises and the different aspects, a lot of these people that you'll come across, and when it comes to growing your business and people offering you help, there's a lot of people out there who are genuine, who are telling the truth, who are providing great services. What you've also got to ask yourself as a consumer to these people is, whenever you've been sold something, were you ready to actually do the work? Because sometimes we're looking for the silver bullet, we're looking for the fast way, we're looking for, as the magic wand, how can I just change everything about what I want to do? And quite often it doesn't exist. And the reason why it doesn't exist is because you've got to show up and do the work as well. So that's my final thing. So if ever you've come across anything like that, where you've seen a great promise, but it requires you to do work, and the person, the provider, the supplier has been upfront about it, then just make sure you're ready as well, because otherwise you're going to fall foul of being missold something because you just haven't put the work in as well. And so they're my 5 steps. And this is the final one, which kind of relates to, are you ready to do what's necessary? There is no silver bullet to the success of your business. The reality is that you need to figure out what works for you. And one of the fastest ways to do that is to get a coach or mentor. And the reason being that they're going to put you through their paces. They're going to show you the outcomes of what they achieved. And usually they've been or achieved what it is that you're trying to do. And using a coach or a mentor is a fast track way to shortcut your journey to get in there faster to wherever your goals are going to lead you. And for me, this is one of the key things that will help you avoid the lies of any industries. Finding somebody that is genuine, somebody that you can trust, somebody that has all the social proof, somebody that can genuinely show you exactly what you need to show up and do. And then that way you'll look at things from the light of, well, nothing is promised to be kind of get rich, get quick. And you'll set yourself up for something where you're committed to the vision, and therefore you'll do whatever it takes. You'll show up, you'll do the work, and you won't be looking for the get rich, get quick, type of scenario. So hopefully those 6 steps will give you some ideas of what to look for. And at the end of the day, look, some of these things, you're not going to detect everything. and that in itself will be your lesson. And so the more you become better at spotting what lies are going on, and the more you can smell the bullshit, the faster your business will accelerate, especially when it comes to, you know, working with suppliers, consultants, coaches, and the people who can help you to get to that next level faster. Right. So when you finally get a great mentor and somebody who can help you move to that next level, you're going to get results where, just like I share in my videos and different places, you'll have testimonials, you'll have evidence, like here, clients generating leads, turning that into $24,000 in a month in 30 days time. Other clients doing 5 figures in a day. Other clients doing 10,000 in under 30 days. I've got other clients generating £18,000 in a month. Other clients doing £8,685 in a month. Other clients going from 3K to 100K in 5 months. This is the kind of proof you're looking for, and this is the kind of things that I achieve with my clients. You know, high ticket sales, £4,500, about $6,000 plus, and then other examples of social proof. You know, here's one client, 700 leads in 3 days, other clients 4K a week, and so on and so forth. That's what you're looking for if you're looking for a mentor or coach who can help you to go to that next level. And here's the thing, if you'd like to have your marketing working for you, comment marketing below this video and I'll send you more details on how I can help you. So if you've liked the content, it's very simple, guys. If this has resonated with you, you've enjoyed this exploration into, I guess, the marketing lies that perhaps you could fall foul of, either by buying or actually using in your own marketing message, then please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to leonstreet.com/YouTube and you'll be redirected to the YouTube channel, and hit the subscribe button there and click on the notification bell. Finally, go do yourself a favor and subscribe now, guys. Thanks for watching. I've enjoyed this video. I hope you have too, and I'll catch you on my next one. Take care.